Today, this is your first class as beginners in violin. I see some of you already have rest position pretty much down pat. Who here has like a little bit of training in the violin so far?
A lot.
A lot. So you're pretty much like a professional, and Amanda is your name, you said, right?
Just a little bit though.
Just a little bit. Okay, and you two are pretty much fresh to it?
Yeah.
Pretty much beginners. Well, that's great. So I'm gonna start right from the beginning. So this might be a little boring for you, JP. I do apologize. But so I'm a cellist myself, but there's a lot of transferable skills between the two instruments, and I know a fair bit about the violin. So I'm gonna teach you guys all the different parts of the instrument for starters. All right. So you all know what your bow is first, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So. John Paul, you said you've been doing this a little while. Can you tell everyone the different parts of the bow?
Okay. The middle, the point. No, this is the frog. This is a point. This is the point. This is the frog. No, you balance it here.
The balance point?
Yeah, the balance point.
That's what it's called?
Yeah. And yeah.
Well, does anyone else have more things about their bow that they want to?
Oh,
Kitty.
this part is horsehair.
It's horsehair, and it's actually funny that you're touching it because the interesting thing about horsehair is that the oil on our hands makes the hair really slippery, so it makes it harder to play. If you pretty much touch it against anything or rub it against anything, so it's all right. It's not a big deal. It's just it creates sort of spots that won't create traction with the string, and then your bow will just go woof over it and no sound will come out.
That sounds like fun.
See, you clearly haven't been touching it too much, so you're good. Alright, let's stay with the bow for a minute here. We'll get into playing in a minute. So, does anyone else have another part of the bow that they were hoping to talk about? No? Alright, so just a quick recap. The tip or the point, the hair that's made out of horsehair. There's the middle tip frog. The balance point is right around here, where you can essentially balance the bow. But you don't need to do that. It's not really that important. That has to do more with Baroque playing, but we're not gonna stick to that just yet. And then there's the frog and the tightening pin at the end here. This is how you tighten and loosen your bow. An important thing about when you tighten your bow, you don't ever want the arch, the natural arch that's in your bow. As you can see, if you put it to your eye, you never want it to be straight, because that can snap your bow the other way and then it's a garbage bow. Yeah. So make sure that your arch never goes over halfway. You want to make sure it's always a little under half. And depending on the piece and comfortability, not really weird, but so Maria, you could probably tighten your bow a little bit more. You don't have a whole lot of tension there on your string. And then if you don't have your tension when you're, one second. If you don't have the tension in your playing, I'll show you what can happen. Is if you're playing a piece, then you can get this sound. You hear that? It's pretty gross. You hear like a crackling almost, you know?
Like grating.
Yeah. So that's why we don't, and it can be bad for your bow and your hair too to do that. So we want to make sure your bow's tightened at least enough so that when you're playing, it doesn't do that. What's your question, John Paul?
It's not a question. In there, if you loosen it a lot, then the loosening pin.
Yeah.
Tightening pin.
Yeah.
Comes off, and then this comes off.
Mhm.
And then you can open. You can take this like over there.
Yeah.
And then there's a little cork, so if you like hit it a lot, then it'll snap.
Oh, okay.
It'll break.
Good. Yeah, that's really in-depth knowledge about your bow. So I'm not going to take it apart right now. It takes a bit of time, and it can be kind of cumbersome to put back together. But like you said, John Paul, you want to be a little bit careful about right around the tip of your bow. You don't smack it against anything. It's delicate, so you want to treat it with a little respect. No? Alright, so that's the bow. Now we're going to get into the body of the instrument. So we have different instruments. We have a couple different parts. They're mostly the same, but let's go over the main parts that we have together, and then we'll touch on the different ones. So, does anyone want to talk about the different parts? You already went, John Paul, so I'm going to ask Mitty to go.
This is the scroll.
Of course.
This thing here. And then these are the pegs.
Yeah.
And then this is the neck.
Yeah.
And this is the bridge.
Great.
And this is the chin rest.
Great.
And there's the button. Right there.
All right, so
That's the button.
we'll come back to the button in a minute, but that's a difference. Well, I'm sure she's still going for a minute here, JP.
And those are the strings.
Those are the strings.
Now one more thing. The fingerboard.
What's that?
It's part.
Oh, the
So
black.
where does your bow go?
Like JP was saying, let me tell you in a minute. This is called the fingerboard here, the black piece of wood that's attached to the neck of your instrument. It's called the fingerboard. That's where you're going to be playing, pretty self-explanatory, where you're going to be putting your fingers during playing. And Maria, where do you put your bow? So there's a lot of names for the difference. It goes essentially in between the fingerboard and the bridge, where you want to put your bow. You're never really going to be playing on this side of the bridge until you get to much higher levels, and only in extended techniques of instrumentation are you going to get into this side of the bridge. I have before for certain songs, but
So you only play on this side.
so pretty much, yeah, just between here and here. Right in the middle is what's been referred to as the Suzuki Highway. It's a great pedagogue named Suzuki who gave that name. So yeah, at this level, starting level, you want to make sure it's right in between the fingerboard and the bridge. A little boring. Alright. So other things, there's two sets of tuning pegs, like you were saying, Amanda. So there's the one up here, these tuning pegs, and then these tuning pegs down here. You're going to use these for finer tuning and these for larger tuning if it is needed. And you want to be careful when you're tuning to make sure you're tuning the right peg, because if you're using these and you're tuning your instrument but tightening the wrong string, you can snap your string if it's too much tension, and it can be harmful to your instrument. So there's a couple different things, like I was saying. So the button, right? That's what you have on the back of your cello here. Yeah, what's up?
And the sound holes.
You mean in terms of size?
No, the
Sound holes.
Yeah. These.
Okay. Yeah?
The sound holes. What about them?
What's different? They're different size.
Oh no, that's part of another part of the road.
Oh, another part, yeah. So this is the sound holes, I guess, what they're called. I'm not sure the exact technical name, but I'll get back to you with that. And then, of course, the resonance chamber of the instrument, which is the body of it, right
Do
here.
they do
And the
anything?
bridge.
Or do they just
Yeah, we mentioned the bridge.
We did?
Yeah.
They help with the acoustics of the instrument. We'd have to get into it to know exactly. So I put my cello on the ground like this because it's a much bigger instrument, but you're not going to do that with your own instruments because it can be dangerous for them. For me, I have a peg on the end of it that I bring out. So I'll loosen it up and then bring it out, and that's for how tall you are. Then you tighten it, and then that's an extension for me for my playing, but not very relevant to you. You have the button, as you called it, JP?
Yeah.
What's that? This.
Yeah. So that connects this piece right here to, I have it sort of to the same piece, but yours is held on by a button at the bottom of your instrument. Mine's held around the peg at the bottom. So that's pretty much it. This is called a mute. We're not going to be using one for starting, but maybe later on you'll hear about the mute. And when you want to put your instrument down, just make sure it's in a safe, stable place or in your case. So does anyone have any questions about the mechanics of the instrument? No? Great. Now we're going to get into some playing. So as the community that we're going to be, I want us to learn the songs that you guys want to learn. So does anyone have a song in particular they've heard about? Kitty.
Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. How does everyone else feel about that one? We're good with that one? JP, you have one?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
You want to learn me as a song? It's kind of a bizarre concept, but how about we stick to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and then we'll explore that train of thought some other time.
Okay.
Alright. So when I'm just talking to you, I want you to hold your instruments in rest position. as a way to train your body to do it naturally for when you're on stage, right? So whenever you're not playing, great. So you pretty much all got rest position, pretty much down pat, and we all want to make sure that when we're in rest position, if our feet can be on the ground, then they're touching the ground. If they can't, that's fine.
Well, that's
If they're
okay.
that's just fine, yeah. But one, yeah, that you don't, yeah. You want to be at the tip of your chair so that you have some balance, right? We'll get a smaller chair for you. A lot of the time when you're performing, you're gonna be standing up in a small chamber ensemble too. But for this aspect, we'll do it standing down. So. Great. Yeah, under your right arm, you have your instrument, and you want to hold it with your left hand if that's more comfortable, or you can put your left hand on your knee, and then with your right hand and your bow, you want to hold your bow and have it going straight up.
So you can be in rest position.
I am sitting. No, I'm not.
All right. Well, why don't you just go fully on that chair for now, JP, and then looks good. Whatever's comfortable for you, and then put your bow in rest position. So you want to put it on your knee, on your left knee, like everyone else here does. Wrong knee.
This knee.
So yeah, you want to sort of put it like right around that area on your knee, not on the tip.
JP.
I am sitting straight.
Okay,
He
JP.
said I can do whatever I can do comfortable.
I did say that. So on the couch, sure, but JP, do you mind if you just go on the chair for the time being, and we'll just do it all together so we look like a professional orchestra? So rest position. Everyone in rest position?
Yeah.
And with your bow on your knee? Great. Okay, so when I raise my hands to start conducting, I want you all to raise your violins to your playing position. Alright? So, where are my hands right now? Amanda? Let's try it. And so we'll go over the position in a minute. Let's just try. We'll all look at me, and then when I raise my hands, everyone to playing position, and you can remain seated.
JP.
All right, let's try that again. Everyone put their instruments back in rest position. And now, up to play. Great. So we'll put a little bit more room between us later on, and you want to put your so when you're in playing position, that's a good point to illustrate JP. You want to put your if you can hold your bow on your strings without making a sound, then do that. If you can't, you don't have the control, then hold it just above the strings. Okay, and we don't want to play until we start playing, or else it's gonna totally ruin the mood, and it's gonna kind of let your teammates down, right? You hear? So let's try it one more time. Back to rest position. So we all get it together.
Rest position.
You're looking perfect on the knee, straight up, and
Straight up.
okay, perfect. So we're gonna go over Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, right? So for Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, who here knows how to play that song already? JP and Amanda, you can both play the melody to the song? That's great. And does everyone know the sound of the song?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna start on the D string. Is everyone familiar with the different strings of the instrument and their names?
No.
Yes?
Yes.
You are.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Everyone's aware.
Well,
Alright, so just to recap, your smallest string is the E, and then you have your A, your D, and your G. So we're gonna be starting on D today, because I'm gonna play along with you, and I don't have really the same register that you have for open strings. So
What do you have?
I have an A, a D, a G, and then a C below where you would have your G. Yeah.
That's your D.
That's my G still. So I share these three strings in common with you, but I just have a lower string on the bottom. For reals. So I'm gonna, if you don't know how to play the song, that's fine. We'll go over that in our private lessons together, but I want you to just play the open string D, 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, up, down,
Which
up.
one's?
When can
So
we
down
play
is when
you?
you're pulling it away.
When can we play
When can we play what?
you?
We'll play later. I promise. Alright, so I want JP and Amanda to play the melody. I'm going to play the melody along with you. And I want you guys to do D's for every moment. All right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
this is a D, though, right?
Yeah, that's a D. We're not perfectly in tune, but that's all right. We'll tune after this song. So on one, I'm gonna count to 4, and then we're gonna go on 1. And if we can all just be quiet as mice, that's how we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Let's just practice coming off together as a group. So you two are just gonna be playing your D still, and we're gonna, for us two, for the melody, we're gonna go. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're all gonna get off on the end of 4. All right. So when I cue you, you're gonna start on this note, which is an F sharp, just for, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, let's try it one more time. We all want to get off at the same time and not have any sound.
Don't play when he's talking.
Alright, perfect. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. That was beautiful. Okay, so that's pretty much Twinkle Twinkle Little Star at its finest. I'm going to teach the two of you in our private lessons together about the fingerings, but now we can play it as a whole group together, which is so nice. So do you guys want to play one more time to solidify it? Or yeah?
Sure.
Alright, let's do it one more time. And this time, I'm going to really need you guys to hold the melody, because I'm going to play a harmony part over it, alright?
Ooh, fancy.
Fancy, fancy.
Very fancy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. We'll work on getting off again. Great. Thanks, guys. So that's the lesson for today.